Hello, dear friends, and welcome to our 99th weekly Communities of Practice Sunday check-in session and our first ever combined on-site and online event. We have over 40 guests joining us here at Nan Tien Institute and online our family from all around the world, so it really is a very special day. Please do forgive any technical problems that may come up, as today is very experimental in true Sunday check-in style. If you are a new member of our community, please accept our wholehearted welcome. And know that if you're unsure or have any questions about our practices and topics, we're all here to help. And if you're a regular, well, welcome back. It is customary in Australia to begin any meeting by acknowledging the traditional owners of our land. So in the spirit of reconciliation, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we walk, study, and reside, the Wadi people of the Dharma Nation, and I pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. I also pay my respects to the traditional custodians of the various lands on which you all are. The check-in sessions have been running online with a flourishing international community for nearly 2 years now. Our purpose together has been to develop a reflective practice in response to a rapidly changing world. Guided by humanistic Buddhism, we aspire to, and I think we really have helped each other, cultivate our practices and build memorable friendships. Today, we're delighted to welcome Meg Hart. Meg is a psychologist, writer, and lecturer at Nan Tien Institute. She's a valued member and friend of the community and will facilitate today on the topic Dharma and the art of bungee jumping.
Thank you, Priscilla, and welcome everybody around the world. We've had 99 wonderful, open-hearted, wide-ranging, often surprising conversations in our community so far. Last week, we were even talking about bungee jumping. So I thought we could begin today with a little meditation for bungee jumpers. So please, sit comfortably wherever you are. Relax. And breathe. And center yourself in your breathing with gratitude for being alive. Feel that spaciousness all around as you breathe in and breathe out naturally, relaxed. Now imagine you're a bungee jumper with a strong line holding you, and just let yourself float into space, knowing you're held, knowing you're safe. Just float in space. Like a bird. And now, come gently back to earth and land and open your eyes and smile. Well, as we all know very well, being human is complicated. Things change. We don't always have answers or solutions. Situations can be messy, ambiguous, even downright paradoxical. And we're often taking a leap into the unknown. And we just have to feel the fear and do it anyway. It's a bit like bungee jumping. Last week, Jonathan talked about samvega, the spiritual urgency that arises from our dissonance and our doubt and our fear and our uncertainty about life. And how out of samvega we may find pasada, a calm and clear confidence in ourselves and in life. Sometimes we arrive at pasada through disciplined practice. And sometimes we just have to bluff ourselves into it. I wonder how many of you remember that old film, The King and I. There was a song in it. Whenever I feel afraid, I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune so no one will suspect I'm afraid. And the song actually goes on. The result of that deception is very strange to tell. For when I fool the people I fear, I fool myself as well. So facing our fear and confusion and inviting insight and wisdom requires that kind of courage, the courage of not really knowing what's going to happen, the courage of our vulnerable humanness, the courage to embrace paradox, the paradox that we're actually already there. We already have the qualities of awake consciousness within us. But as Katya pointed out, we also have to accept that we're just human with fears and hopes and great potential. We make mistakes, we don't know what we're doing half the time, yet we never give up. That is everyday courage. And it means acceptance of who I am, a human being. It means letting go of wanting to be perfect or right or rich or successful and just being. And perhaps most of all, it requires trusting in what I am, a Buddha in progress. Even though I don't know what's next, I still can feel that confidence in my potential, in my possibility, my potential to handle the situation that's before me. Think of the times when you've done that. An unexpected illness, a new job, a new relationship, a new country. When you took a big leap into the unknown. What helped you to trust you would make it somehow? What anchored you? What was your bungee-line? What was your Dharma? And by Dharma, I mean truth that anchored you in those challenging moments. Truth that you could trust. Not blind faith or fantasy about the future, but truth that accords with reality, i.e., the way things actually are, which is ever-changing, transient, uncertain, also connected by intricate causes and conditions and consequences, which means that what I say and think and do and how I act actually matters because I am consciousness in action. We all are consciousness in action. We have awareness here and now, sometimes called mere knowing, and we have potential for greater knowing, wisdom. So in this very moment, I am aware and I can also be more awake. That truth is my bungee line, and when I feel uncertain or confused, I can remind myself of that Dharma and take the leap I need to. And maybe it's a small leap from being upset with someone to just staying calm, from grabbing more for me to sharing more, from feeling righteous about my opinions to being a little more humble. That possibility of transformation gives me radical hope. And that really is what Dharma practice is about, isn't it? And we need to do it everywhere, anytime, with everything. Asking ourselves, if I was a Buddha, how would I face this situation right now? How would I find pasada, calm and clear confidence in myself and in life itself. So I'd like you to think now about what is your bungee line when you're facing the unknown. What anchors you in times of uncertainty and sustains your trust in life and in yourself? And how have you reminded yourself that you are, in fact, a Buddha in progress? So now I'm going to invite anyone who'd like to share their thoughts or ideas to come and sit in the seat or online and talk to us. Thank you.
I just think about the situations where, especially given the turmoil and uncertainty of the modern crises, how do I come to grips with that? So it took quite a while to sort that out of my own mind, but the Dharma is really something that gives me a context for accepting this difficult situation and all the things that it has thrown at us and will continue to throw at us. So words like from Master Xing Yun is that every day is a good day, every place is a good place. So if I take that on, then whatever the situation is that's coming at me, I can relax my mind by thinking that and open up to ways of working with the situation, however it is. So that's been a really big help for dealing with the roller coaster.
From my own perspective, the essential development of compassion, because we live in hard times, as has been mentioned, and we can do a lot to help ourselves, and we must do that initially. But as Meg said, with the ultimate aim of developing our compassion for others who are suffering. And there are countless numbers of those. And one of the aspects of the bungee is to plunge into the life of somebody else without knowing, and committing oneself to someone else to help them, and in the process helping yourself. So this is, in the Mahayana tradition, one of the great practices, and it's certainly required now. And wherever we go, we need to regard that as a complete day if we can be fully compassionate with somebody else. And by that I mean sustained compassion, not something in passing, but where we actually pause, stop, we engage with the other person, and with compassion. So that can be a goal for the day, and it's always, to do it well, in my experience, requires a lot of vulnerability and an unknown outcome. I mean, the outcome may be beneficial, but it may not. But it is essential that we try.
So from Bruce, my daily task of introducing new knowledge to people has been hanging at the bottom of a bungee line waiting for the leader. I introduce alternative ways of thinking, and the participants bring context which I know very little about. My bungee line is humility and presency, and the Dharma is full of guidance on how to apply these virtues. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Bruce. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Meg, for so warmly guiding this wonderful hybrid session, which will continue after 11:30 a.m. We really hope the check-in session was helpful to you, and we hope you experienced the unconditional love and compassion of this community. For anyone who might be experiencing a greater need than what today could meet, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us via email. You can also reach out to the professional organisations on the screen. As you know, today is the 99th Sunday check-in session, and join us online next week for the 100th Sunday check-in celebration for a bit of fun and community brainstorming for the next era to come. Just a note that in Sydney, daylight savings will commence on that day, so check your local times. It will mean most of you may need to dial in an hour earlier than usual. We also have some other exciting events coming up with the Wisdom and Light exhibition in Melbourne. It's a highly recommended immersive experience exploring the life of Venerable Master Xing Yun. Pop in and drop our Melbourne friends a line. And finally, our friend Stephen will be presenting next Saturday for Nantian 2030 from self-interest to humanity-based economics. Registration details will be sent out in the midweek email. For now, though, as we finish up today, let's dedicate the merits of this check-in session and all of our efforts to each other and whoever is in need.
Let us now dedicate the goodness of what you have done to all living beings. May kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity pervade all worlds. May we cherish and build affinities to benefit all beings. May Chan, Pure Land, and precepts inspire equality and patience. May our gratitude and humility give rise to great vows.
Thank you everyone for joining us for the check-in session. Now we'll continue with our usual post-check-in discussion, so please stay around for the next half an hour or so if you have time. Meg and the community aren't going anywhere. Otherwise, we'll see you all again next Sunday at 11 a.m.